topic that I've been putting aside for quite some time was how to keep going in suffering. This is something that's really tricky to get through, because oftentimes when you're suffering and actually actively trying to keep going, oftentimes whatever you're suffering about will linger in your mind, even when you're physically present where you need to be to keep going in whatever it is, right? It could be a job, it could be a sport, whatever it is, right? And this is something that I think is very difficult to overcome because oftentimes you'll try to repress whatever emotions you feel towards that suffering and try to repress it to focus on said task. And obviously, that's what you're going to be told to do, and it's very much easier said than done. And so it kind of it can kind of spiral where the emotions from suffering are getting to you and you're trying to push to do something else. And so you tell this side like, yo, we gotta stop. And then it just like it will keep spiraling in your head because you keep telling yourself to do that. And so a lot of the time, it's very easy to just let whatever you're thinking about just take over and then just keep letting it take over every time you're trying to pick up whatever you're trying to do while you're suffering. And then trying to be aware of what you're feeding into your brain is very important. And so something that helped me recently with this is just telling myself, okay, this question on this homework or this part of the project, you're gonna finish. And then after that, then you can have like 5 minutes or so, just grab some water, maybe jot down what you're thinking, and then you're gonna do these next two questions. And then you're gonna take a deep breath, and then you're gonna, whatever helps you relax those emotions, and then you're gonna do three questions. And that may not work for you, but just putting a routine in place where you say, I have to do this, and then I can make time to process my emotions. I think that's the easiest way to do it, right? But I think when you try to repress those emotions, usually they can come back stronger, and that's something that I didn't realize, and something that I think professional help helped me a lot with is giving me an hour of safe space to actually work on my emotions so that for the rest of the week until my next appointment, I could focus on what I needed to focus on. Because I knew, like, if I needed to deal with my emotions, I could just do it there. Now, obviously, that's also easier than said than done. Sometimes I'd find myself lapping back and just chasing my head, but just overall, the professional help, something that one of my friends told me, and I'll never forget it, is maybe 30 minutes with a professional can help you learn things faster than 10 hours by yourself. And that didn't make sense to me. But when I started trying it myself, I started learning a lot of things about myself, seeing a lot of things in my life. And I think that's changed a lot of my perception and actually inspired me to start making these videos. And I think you can really, I mean, professional help is a choice that you make, right? Um, for a long time in my life, I didn't think I would ever need it. I thought that it was something that you did when you were really weak, and I thought in caving in or folding to professional help, you kind of accept that you're weak. And for a long time, that belief kind of built up until it got to a point where it got to me. It got the best of me, and I realized that I had necessarily no other choice but to go there. And in going there, I've realized I've missed a lot of opportunities uh, to get professional help when I was younger. And in that, I think I missed out on a lot of personal growth and development that probably would have helped me a lot through some of the things that I've experienced since then. Um, but aside from that, if you're not struggling that terribly, and you're just struggling with like maybe not something minuscule, like maybe, I don't know, something minuscule in general. Oftentimes, professional help may not be exactly in line with what you want. And with that, I would definitely say journaling helped me. Um, and then just being present in what you're doing as well helps. Like, I think we don't really give time to just sit with our own brains sometimes. Like sometimes we'll put on music, podcasts, we'll be like out and about, we'll do anything but just listen to our own thoughts. And I realized that I used to do that a lot. I used to do anything to avoid my own thoughts, and that was because when I was in my own thoughts, they were all negative. And I think part of growing is being able to be alone with your thoughts and have some positivity come out of it. And then on top of that, I think in allowing your emotions to flow through, you can accept that those emotions will pass at a certain point, right? But when they do pass, you can look back on it and say, I'm I'm thankful for the work that I put in to not only get over this, but also to focus on my studies, focus on my job, whatever floats your boat. And so well, you can look back and say that, or you can look back and say, dang, I really should have focused more on those things. And all this suffering got to me. And I think in in avoiding that suffering, maybe subconsciously putting it aside and just like shoving it down in your brain and trying to focus, I think it will always come back. And the only way to get it out is to actually work on it. So this is a pretty short video. Um, this is pretty difficult topic. So I don't really have much more to say on this. But if you stuck around this long, thank you so much. This has been a really fun journey making these videos. I just got done with finals, so I'm hoping to make maybe some different content moving forward for the summer. But aside from that, uh, I want you guys to let me know what you think in the comments. Maybe in one of my posts, put whatever you want in the polls. That really helps too. Yeah. Aside from that, thank you guys for watching.